Greetings and salutations, this is Wolfphototech coming directly to you through the power of the internet via the YouTube video sharing platform. And today, I have, you probably have already heard about this already, there's a good chance. Tomorrow, you also saw the title of the video. Tomorrow there will be a Pokemon press conference. It will take place in Tokyo, Japan. Not any other Tokyo in the world, which I think there is none other. And it will take place at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, United States. It's 8 p.m. Central Time, where I am. I'm in that neighborhood. Move my camera back. And 9 p.m. in Eastern United States United States time. And if you're from Europe, you are to know that it takes place Wednesday at 2 a.m. UK time, okay? It will largely cover mobile games, movies, TV shows, card games, stuff like that. Potential for announcements as to what the next Pokemon game for mobile is going to be. I tried them out myself. I've tried a few of the ones that they've released, and I didn't stick with them terribly long. But except for Pokemon, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Pokemon Shuffle, which I actually played more of on my Nintendo 3DS than on my cell phone. But anyways, they're gonna cover more. They're gonna cover the general Pokemon-ness of Pokemon on tomorrow. As for Pokemon Sword and Shield, there has been announced a Nintendo Direct, a Pokemon Direct, coming directly to you for June 5th, which is the week before E3. It will approximately take 15 minutes, and it will cover Pokemon Sword and Shield. And the times are almost flipped in comparison to the Pokemon press conference. It will take place at 6 a.m. Pacific Time, 8 a.m. U.S. Central Time, and 9 a.m. Eastern U.S. Time, and 2 p.m. UK time. So, in other words, Pokemon press conference will take place tomorrow afternoon for the United States, and the Pokemon Direct will take place on June 5th in the morning on Wednesday. I think I memoed that down. That was a Wednesday. That was a bad choice not to write that down. I think it's a Wednesday. But anyways, if you have personal theories as to what you're going to see in the Pokemon press conference, there's a lot of people shooting their hopes at a new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which incidentally I never played the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. I played a lot of the original main Pokemon games, all the way up to say it depends on how hardcore and how fair you want to call it. I played it fairly heavily all the way up through Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald version. However, Pearl and Diamond as well, which would be the next one after. But after that, I kind of stopped playing as often as I used to, and I kind of veered off onto other stuff. Right around that time, I got more into multi-console systems, like the multiple different consoles. I was a Nintendo gamer all the way up through, say, the N64 and into the GameCube. And then right around the GameCube era, I started splintering off into more of more PlayStation 2 games. And then once I got after the PlayStation 2, I started, say, like around, the Nintendo Wii, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, I started playing games across all three systems. If anything, if you are to be aware of it, the more systems you play on, and the more different games you play on, the less time you have to play on the same old game franchises you used to play on. The new addiction is mobile games. However, I've kind of like tapered off on those and reduced down and got back to more Nintendo. You start once you get into your 30s, you start running out of energy. At that which point you have to decide, okay, am I gonna have every video game system, or am I just gonna have one video game system, maybe two, and focus around that. I still have almost all my systems, with the exception of the Super NES, which incidentally I loaned to a relative and they pawned off most of the games for. So I'm basically going to have to, at some point, rebuild that collection. And darn, that collection the collection I loaned person actually had some of the rarer, harder to find games in it. Like Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X and Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. I got Donkey Kong Country 3 and Mega Man X3 because I knew those two games were super rare, and I knew the person wasn't going to play past the first game of those franchises. So, well, oh well, oopsie doodle. Kind of cut back on loaning people video game systems. I actually have a fairly large collection. I have some Atari games up behind me. Up top. Actually, right up there. Some Atari games on that top shelf. A bunch of NES games. A bunch of Amiibo on the way high up. The shelf goes up, way up. Goes right up to my ceiling. Amiibo across the top of the shelf. Old Atari games across the second layer shelf. Plus some Toys to Life stuff. And then there's... This shelf area is like NES and Super NES games. Here's N64, GameCube, some leftover GameCube, Wii, Wii U, and then it goes into the Nintendo Switch down here, or low down. So I got my Wii U collection right here. This is just a small selection of them. I see Mr. Squirrel. My neighbors are squirrels in the building next door. So, yeah. My desk looks right at a window. The light comes down on me. So, well, if you have any personal theories as to what you think you're going to see in said Pokemon Direct and the Pokemon Conference, please throw it in the comments below. There's still probably going to be a Nintendo Direct. That's stupid of me. There will be a regular Nintendo Direct the following week. Say sometime around the Xbox Live briefing, the day... I can't remember, I have to look that up. But it'll be right around the time of the Xbox Live briefing. Xbox Live briefing will be on Sunday. I have that marked down in my calendar on my phone. But anyways, I'm going to try to cover those, and I'm going to try to get back into doing a little bit more news-oriented content on this channel. This channel originated as a news channel, and every so often I find good rumors and good little bits and pieces of information that people really want to know about, and I post them up on the channel, and I got out of that because I got really busy with other side projects. I moved. If you go back and look at my really old videos, I lived in an entirely different place. My movie collection over there. I haven't yet entirely used up all that shelf because I've always been primarily a gamer first and a movie fan second. However, I like older movies, not newer movies. So, like, you're going to talk about movies, we're going to go about, like, I also did some movie reviews on this channel. I mostly like really old sci-fi movies, like Gamera, and also some old horror thriller movies, like Nosferatu, and stuff like that. So, I just wanted to make it really short and quick. I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So, If you enjoyed this video, as I said before, probably once before, twice before, please leave a like on it. If you want me to do more movie reviews, or focus more on video game news and stuff like that, please leave it in the comments below. The original idea behind into the gameplay videos was to actually be a fill in the channel. Sometimes you run into several months. The problem in video gaming news is that, personally, my sweet spot, I'll actually make a whole video explaining the problems of gaming journalism and gaming media. But anyways, the general problem is, in relationship to the topic I'm getting at here, is that my strong suit is Nintendo. Okay, my secondary is basically a split between Sony and Sega. I don't even really touch Microsoft. I have some Microsoft systems, but those are not. Oh yeah, Atari, but Atari's is basically, unless you want to learn about the new the Poke One replacement chip or something like that. I recently came across a channel with news, with a little bit of a fun video on the subject. But unless, yeah, Atari would actually fall after Sega and Sony for me. But anyways, my strong suit is Nintendo. Most of my knowledge in video gaming is Nintendo oriented. So when there's no Nintendo news, you end up with nothing to put on your channel for months on end, and then the algorithm gets bored with you and doesn't serve out your stuff to everyone. Of course, if you put too much stuff on your channel and people ignore it, then you end up with the problem of YouTube saying, oh yeah, these subscribers don't care about your content anymore, so we're not going to give them the notification or put it in their subscription box when your video goes up. So it's literally a juggling act between trying to do video game news, which is the primary focus of this channel a long time ago, and then also trying to fill in with something else that doesn't supplant. But I get really busy, and sometimes between making the videos and uploading them, put Luigi's Magic Bag in place, between uploading them and everything else, I end up eating up a bunch of time there and data. Yeah. It's complicated. And not to mention, I have this 3-game rotation. That is because people like multiple games, and I kind of don't want to have a single game on the channel, because some people don't care for that, and some people do. It's a complicated issue in itself. In the case of YouTube channels, it's actually better to have a narrower stream of content. So if you are like a gaming news channel and you're dedicated to Nintendo, you do gaming news on your channel, and you do Nintendo only gaming news on your channel. The problem with that is, as I said before, there's long waits between in big news pieces, unless you are going to go the route of Game Explain and literally turn every news piece into 6 or 10 different videos, 40 minutes long. You have a problem. My problem is I have a day job. Well, it's not a problem, but I have a day job, and I do not have the ability to sit down and put together a bunch of videos on gaming news topics all the time. So the original idea behind the the gameplay videos was literally to be the fill between those. It doesn't always quite work out. God pushes one thing out. I end up spending more time focusing on the gameplay videos, and then I end up with no time to do the gaming news videos, which is a problem in itself. So it's basically just me finding a balance with it. I used to do four gaming gameplay videos a day. I reduced it down to two. I upped the quality of the video up from the 720 to 1080p, 60 frames per second, but that consumes more time and data uploading. So I just end up running into a bunch of new problems. I'm trying to find a optimal balance in which the people who watch and follow the channel are the happiest, and I'm happy doing it. I generally kind of want to go back to more gaming news because I actually generally enjoy just rambling about bits and pieces of Nintendo gaming history with inside a gaming news topic. However, that is a feast or famine situation. You either end up with too much stuff all at once or not enough stuff. And that doesn't quite work on YouTube, doesn't work on a website if you're a gaming journalist. It just runs into a lot of different problems. So I'll thank you very much for watching this video yet again, as I said before, probably the third or fourth time. And please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And so long, and thank you for all the fishy sticks. By the way, I'm going to probably decide to go and make some fishy sticks right now. I got Vandicamps.